Malta there's 365 churches. Isn't that beautiful? The early morning bells. For me, this is the time of the morning to come looking at these sort of places. Good morning.
Morning.
You get the ladies coming out of the convent. These are the sort of things you miss in the middle of the day. Mdina, which is in the centre of Malta, not on the coast, is a stunning place with its high walls and medieval architecture. They call it the Silent City. Mostly visited in the daytime by day trippers, this gloriously walled city, for me, is the centrepiece of this amazing island. Because of its history and amazing architecture, it's been used for major films, including Game of Thrones. And lots of tourists here, of course, but it is one of the nicest places, one of the nicest squares. English telephone box. Which is not what people expect, I don't think. Of course, Mdina is not all old buildings and churches. There are some really pretty backstreet cafes and restaurants, museums and a dungeon. Off the main tourist street, there are quirky little shops and places to stay. And some great viewpoints. Especially nice was the Culture Centre Cafe next to St Paul's. Enjoy the view with the coffee and the cake. After 9 p.m. in the evening, it really is a beautiful, silent city. Just a nice walk away from the walled holy city of Mdina, heading towards the west coast, is the less touristic and more residential town Rabat, or suburbs of Mdina. Rabat, with its quirky cafes and shops, is much more in tune with the local people who live here. For me, the most interesting place in Rabat was the Wignacourt Museum. It's linked to the grotto of St Paul's Church. Something like that. And the grotto is believed to be where Paul the Apostle stayed when he was shipwrecked here in 60 AD. Also used in war years as a shelter. These were dug out in the catacombs of this place, which is quite amazing really. Some people even lived here. Oh yeah, there's one of them. Yeah, and you can imagine how many people were down here in the war, in the Second World War. This museum also houses a fantastic collection of art and a few other old relics. When you look at the paintings that they did in these times, you appreciate how brilliant the artists were. And so many of them have the Maltese cross on. So most people, when they come to Mdina, they only come for a day trip with the tour operator or on a bus ride. But we decided to stay here for 3 days, and it's been a fantastic advantage because you see Mdina when there's not that many tourists around. And we got this place, this little quirky place on Airbnb. It was quite cheap as well. It's 800 years old. It's pretty well kitted out. So we've had a smashing time here, 3 days here, and it's been amazing. The busy old town of Valletta, with its churches, museums, old buildings and narrow streets, is on a peninsula stretching out a couple of miles into the sea and surrounded by several seaports, a few tourist resorts and miles of suburbs. Wherever you decide to go in Valletta, you'll find there's lots of steps. I mean, lots of steps. Valletta's got a lovely atmosphere. It's reminiscent of Florence or Paris. And to be in the moment here, you need to indulge in the lifestyle, which apparently is eating and drinking most of the day. Everywhere you look, it's beautiful architecture and usually connected to religion, to their religion. The restaurants and bars are not particularly cheap, but there are places to eat if you're on a budget. And you've got to try out the chocolate in this little shop on the corner called Chocolate District. It's a chocolate shop. But they've got hundreds of different chocolates and chocolate drinks too. Oh, it's lovely. They've also got incredible cake shops. This upmarket one gives you a bag that looks like a Harrods bag. Oh.
And how is your banoffee pie?
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? Hey, the Maltese know about making cakes, don't they?
Certainly do.
It's amazing. Because of the island's strategic location in the middle of the Mediterranean, there was a major military base here during the war, and it's very interesting to visit the huge underground headquarters which are still being restored. But the most visited place in the whole of Valletta has to be St. John Co-Cathedral, and not until you get inside do you realise why. There is an amazing amount of art in this cathedral, in particular a masterpiece by Michelangelo, painted 400 years ago. St. John Co-Cathedral was probably the best cathedral, or church even, that I've ever been in. Absolutely amazing. Certainly no lack of gold leaf. I've got to say, the Maltese, they definitely embrace their religion. The amount of effort they've gone to please their God. In the evening, Valletta is much quieter, with just a few exclusive bars and restaurants, and one really unusual coffee shop. And finally, let's just go a 15-minute drive away from Valletta to a little fishing village. So the one thing you notice in Marsashlock is that everything is so colourful. So if you've enjoyed watching my video of Malta, please subscribe, and you'll get updates of any other places that we visit over the next couple of years. Thanks for watching.